Episode 10 of 19. Your virtue is performative. Sit down. Ego dressed in justice, and why moral grandstanding is just status anxiety with better PR. Before we dive in, let's name it. The past week has reminded us that performance and power aren't just abstract. They carry real consequences. This episode isn't about politics or headlines. It's about the ego's need to look righteous instead of being real. If your values never cost you anything, they're probably just branding. This episode calls out the ego hiding in righteousness and invites you to take off the mask. You're not a hero, you're just loud. And what you call justice is often just ego with a diploma. You didn't speak up because it was right. You spoke up because you wanted to be seen. The post, the statement, the outrage. All the right words in all the right places, but not a drop of reflection between them. Because you didn't actually want change, you want applause. Moral outrage is the cheapest way to buy clout. But here's the deal. If your justice requires a crowd, if your compassion disappears in private, then it's not virtue. It is a performance. And everyone's seen the play. Virtue, real virtue, doesn't need an audience. It's quiet. It's lived. It is inconvenient. And it costs you something. If your values have never cost you comfort, popularity, or identity, they are just branding. So, sit down, take off the robe, and ask yourself, without the audience, without the filters, do you want to be good or just look good? Section 1. The rise of performative morality. Social media has turned morality into theater, a stage where the loudest outrage gets the biggest applause. Hot takes? They are currency now. The more extreme, the more viral. The more viral, the more valuable. But here's the problem. Complexity doesn't trend. Nuance doesn't sell. So when performativity reigns, complexity dies, and polarization thrives in its place. You don't see people wrestling with the truth. You see alliances, tribes, echo chambers shouting, "We're the good ones, they're the monsters." That isn't morality, it is marketing. At work, a colleague makes a show of correcting others for using the wrong term. But in private, they still gossip, exploit interns, and cut corners. That's not justice. It is, again, simply branding. If your morality only works in public, it's not morality, it's theater. Section 2. Status anxiety disguised as righteousness. Let's be honest. A lot of outrage isn't really about justice at all. It's about envy, control, insecurity dressed up in moral language. Outrage gives you leverage. It lets you say, "Don't look at me, look at them." Call-outs aren't always about accountability. Sometimes they are just smokescreens. We live in a culture obsessed with being right publicly, while growing privately has become optional. Justice that doesn't change your personal behavior is just projection. How many times have you seen someone post something on Facebook or any other social media outlet, and they are clearly wrong, and someone calls them out for being wrong? They might agree with that person, but then they delete their original post that was wrong. Why? Because they don't want to show growth. They want to show that they are right. Family dinners. One person scolds everyone about climate change while refusing to recycle or cut their own waste. Their outrage is a shield, not a conviction. Remember, most public outrage is not virtue. It is simply status anxiety in a robe. Section 3, the performative cycle. Here's the loop. Trigger leads to performative outrage, leads to social approval, leads to inner emptiness, and then repeat. It feels good in the moment, like a dopamine hit of righteousness, but it doesn't last. Posting is not activism. Shaming is not moral clarity. Virality is not a virtue. It's empty calories. It feels like movement, but leaves you starving. Let's say your company makes a big social justice statement online, but inside the office, nothing changes. Same inequities, same culture, just different hashtags. Remember, posting isn't justice, it's just proof that you know the script. Section 4. How real virtue works and why it's inconvenient. Real virtue is lived, not performed. It's quiet, inconvenient, costly. It looks like standing up without announcing it. It looks like losing friends over values you don't broadcast. It looks like having hard conversations privately, not just public statements. Real virtue isn't clout. It's consequence. If your values never make your life harder, they're not values, they're just accessories. So, for a non-romantic example, let's say a friend refuses to laugh at racist jokes in private, even if it costs them belonging in their family. That's actual virtue. It costs something. Virtue without cost is just costume jewelry. Section 5. The red flags that show you're doing it for show. So let's call it out. You're louder online than you are in real life. You demand others educate themselves while avoiding real complexity yourself. You moralize from a place of pain, not principle. You feel powerful when someone else gets dragged. If any of these sting, that's the signal. Performance has crept in. If your virtue makes you feel powerful only when others lose, it's not virtue. It is just ego. Section 6. The cost of real integrity. Integrity is expensive. It will get you uninvited. It will get you side-eyed. It will cost you belonging in certain circles. It means apologizing without being asked, supporting nuance when both sides demand extremes, letting go of the ego high of being right to actually do right. If your virtue has never made you uncomfortable, you're not living it yet. Let's say a manager owns their mistake in front of the team before anyone notices. No applause, just quiet accountability. That is integrity. Integrity will cost you more than applause. That's how you know it's real. Section 7. Get off the stage. You don't need to be a saint. You just need to be real. Let your virtue be messy. Let your values be inconvenient. Let your goodness cost you something. Because if it doesn't, it's just costume jewelry on an insecure identity. So sit down, step off the stage, and start living what you keep pretending to post. Write down one value you claim publicly. Then ask, when did I last pay a cost for this privately? If the answer is silence, the work is waiting. Remember, if your values never cost you anything, they are not values. They are branding. Because when justice is only theater, the fallout doesn't just touch reputations, it touches lives.